Hi, everybody. I'm Brittany Lewis, a breaking news reporter here at Forbes. Joining me now is my Forbes colleague, staff writer Zach Everson. Zach, thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me. We've got another development in Trump crypto world to discuss.
Exactly. You and I have talked a lot in detail about the Trump family's crypto ventures and their new ventures in the digital space as well. Today's conversation is just on that. I want to read your most recent headline. You wrote this, quote, Trump org applies for sweeping trademark covering items from crypto wallet to virtual Cologne. So first, to start off the conversation, talk to us about the application process here. How and why did they get this ball rolling?
So I did a search recently on the Trump for with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office just to see if there was anything new, and this one came up. So back in February, a LLC that is exclusively owned by Donald Trump through a web of other LLCs, other companies, and a revocable trust filed a trademark application to apply Trump, which it's a trademark they have in a lot of other areas, to dozens and dozens of products in the virtual realm. Doesn't mean they're necessarily going to launch all of these products, but it certainly gives you a insight into what they might be thinking about. The application is currently being reviewed. It takes about a year for a trademark to be trademark application to be processed all the way through if it does get approved. So we're just a few months into that period. Of course, they do not need to wait for a trademark to be approved before bringing a product to market.
And so you found out what some of these virtual products are going to be, and some of them are like virtual footwear, virtual cologne. I am curious, is there a market for something like virtual cologne? Why would someone buy that? What's the appetite there?
Well, we saw a lot of interest in virtual digital trading cards of Donald Trump. We put out those NFTs starting a couple years ago. There's obviously the meme coin, which people threw hundreds of thousands of dollars at, in part because it came with the very real world experience of getting to hang out with Donald Trump briefly at one of his clubs and possibly getting a White House tour. So they think there's a market for this. And to some extent there is. If you look at any sort of video games out there, a lot of them have digital things that you can pay real money to get an add-on on the game. If it's a game like Toca World or something like that, where, if I get a little extra money, I can get a nicer piece of furniture. So there certainly does seem to be a market for that. The difference is I don't think any of those other products are being marketed by a president of the United States.
And now I want to talk about a crypto wallet because in your headline, in your piece, you talk about how the Trump organization applied for the trademark that would cover a crypto wallet. So first, for the uninitiated, what exactly is a crypto wallet?
A crypto wallet is a digital tool for storing cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, NFTs, other things along that lines. And there are a couple different ways you can have it. You could actually have it where it is stored like it's all online. It's kind of like a brokerage account. If you had an account with Fidelity, it'd be similar to that. They take care of everything. You can access it through their website. You can also download an application for your own computer or phone where you would hold it that way, or you can put it totally in cold storage, which is offline, the equivalent of throwing a bunch of cash in your safe and hoping you remember the code to it. So that is what a crypto wallet is. There are several ways that they can make money off it. And, we don't know if the Trumps are going to launch this project or what any sort of fee structure would be. But in general, crypto wallets can make money by charging transaction fees, selling user data, selling add-ons. If it's a piece of hardware, you charge for the initial product right there. Some of them even sell ads. So there's a whole variety of ways that money can be made by having a crypto wallet.
So is the Trump organization planning to release a crypto wallet? Because there has been some reporting this week that caused quite a stir in this department.
Yeah, at first it looked like they may have actually already launched one. There's a really great independent journalist out there, Molly White. Highly recommend people look at her Citation Needed newsletter. She focuses on crypto. And she reported that there was a new website out there, TrumpWallet.com, that was taking signups for a wait list for people to get access to this Trump crypto wallet. And the people involved with this looked to be pretty reputable, at least in the crypto industry. It wasn't some sort of fly-by-night company, and it also looked to have the buy-in of Trump's official meme coin. It has its branding, it has its name. So, she wrote an article on this saying, hey, look what I found. This looks to be, what we've got going on, that they are going to launch a crypto wallet. the Trumps then pushed back on that. Don Jr. and Eric both tweeted, "We have nothing to do with this." Don Jr. added, though, that World Liberty Financial, the decentralized finance platform that he and his brothers and father are involved with, does have plans to launch a crypto wallet. So it sounds like a crypto wallet is in the works. We don't know exactly who it's going to be with.
So, if we zoom out for a second and you look at all of these virtual items that the Trump organization is applying for a trademark for, I mean, does the president, let's say they do sell these items, does the president or can he profit from them if they're sold?
Yeah, absolutely. The company that filed for this trademark is exclusively owned by him. It is in a revocable trust. He is the sole donor. He is the sole beneficiary. Don Jr. is the trustee. Trump can withdraw money from it at any time. And some of these items are specifically pegged to the presidency, it appears. Some of them aren't. Virtual Cologne, that, nothing presidential about that whatsoever. But there were talks of virtual civics lessons, a virtual museum, and images and texts that were authorized by the 45th and 47th President of the United States that would be connected to an NFT. So, I mean, they specifically mentioned the presidency in this trademark application.
And so you and I have talked about how the Trump family is really expanding their crypto footprint, their digital footprint. I mean, when you look at this news about this trademark, I mean, how big is their digital empire really going to be?
I mean, they've seriously had big plans. I mean, there were dozens of products out there ranging from, stuff we didn't talk, virtual reality headsets, digital, virtual candy, virtual footwear. It looked in some areas like Trump University might get resurrected, that there were talks of all sorts of classes in hospitality, real estate, government service, civics. So this was a really wide-ranging trademark application. Again, we don't know if they're actually going to do any of these, if they're just ideas that they're thinking about, if maybe they tried to file this as a defensive measure so some other people wouldn't try to jump on that trademark. Not quite sure, but we are looking at a president whose net worth has doubled in the last couple of years based on his crypto and tech holdings. I believe we just valued his crypto the other day and worth about $1 billion. So, he has certainly found a way to make a lot of money for imaginary products.
And so read the tea leaves here. I mean, what do you think this means? What do you think that this layer adds to the conversation that you and I really have been having for weeks, months now, of President Trump being the first crypto president? He went from crypto skeptic to crypto enthusiast, and now you're seeing his entire family really expanding their digital empire. What does this all indicate to you?
Yeah, it's almost like he's become a crypto fetishist. I mean, it is just nonstop. Anything they can do attached to the blockchain. They've realized that they are getting very real money here for not having to provide, real world sneakers or anything in the real world. I mean, this has just been a devolution of Trump's business where he started off in real estate, very tangible. You can see Trump Tower, to where it went to marketing. Okay, you can watch his show on TV. You might see his name applied to fill in the blank. And now it's just going to, but those were real products. A Trump steak was something you could eat. There was a Trump fragrance. You actually could spray it on yourself if you so chose. Now it's going down to a virtual cologne. It is just an image of cologne that they would be selling if they do decide to launch that product. So, it's no surprise that he's become much more bullish on crypto when he's realized there is a lot of money to be made in it and very little overhead.
Well, Zach, per usual, love our conversations. Thanks for joining me.
Yep. Thanks for having me back.